my pleasure to come to here to explain this interesting concept to all our friends here. Actually, the Build and Roll initiative have become a very popular term in recent 2 years, especially this year after the U.S.-China conflict occurred. Actually, as the professor of the international business, in all these years, I've been feeling that there are big challenges in front of us in regarding to explain this initiative. Actually, there are two things. One is that there are a lot of differences regarding culture, system, all these type of things between China and the rest of the world, including Latin America. That's put some obstacle in front of us. We were experiencing this type of differences for the whole day's discussion yesterday, right? And the other thing is that the initiative actually came from the leadership of China. China, as you know, we had like 5,000 years history with splendid the culture, and the leadership used those type of elegant Chinese words. We can feel it, but it's put a lot of challenge in front of us trying to interpret these type of things to the world. Of course, we have to do that because it's an initiative of collaboration. So we're going to have a try. So today, I want to try simple story so that we can try to pass this meaning to our friends here. And then I can prepare to answer your difficult question afterwards, okay? So there's a couple of things I want to talk about. One is the Build and Roll initiative raised and built up by Chinese leadership. The second is that just because this initiative have been raised for 5 years, so we have some experience coming from the practice in the Asian area. We want to learn the experience from there. And then we talk about what are the foundations of Build and Roll initiative in Latin America, and then what we can do for this initiative extending to Latin America. So actually, this, as I mentioned just now, this initiative was raised first time in 2003. And at that time, the presidency mentioned the Silk Road economic belt and the 21st century maritime Silk Road in Indonesia. And that's the first time the concept have been raised. And then we constantly enriched and built up this concept in a couple of the years afterwards. Like we add the spirit of the initiatives. Yeah, it's a little bit small. I need to open my. Anyway, it's just do it. Yeah, add the spirit, add the emphasize the principle. The emphasize the priority and mission of this initiative, and then also just because there are. I can do with this one. Yeah.
But it's working.
It's working.
Ah.
It's working. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Just because there are many questions coming from the friend of this world, so we start to respond to those type of questions. For example, in 2015, and the question coming in they asking whether this is an initiative from China and you do everything from the scratch, which is not the truth. So we said that this initiative is open and inclusive, and we try to build on the existing basis, right? And then in 2016, and there are a lot of argument towards the motivation of this initiative, whether it is the instrument of geopolitical things, the instrument of economic extension, all these type of things. And then we said that this initiative is not the tool to advance any geopolitical agenda. And of course, on the other hand, it's also not an foreign aid. Okay, so we try to clarify this initiative from time to time. And then in 2008, when President Xi came to this region and make the remark in ALADI, and he said that now it has begun the new area of China, Latin America, which means that this initiative extending to the region. Okay, I just briefly go through this type of process, and then we end up with a sort of summary of the framework of Build and Roll here. Actually, it's a package. We have the Silk Road spirit. We say that we do it, the spirit is peaceful and cooperation, openness and inclusiveness, mutual learning, and mutual benefit. And principle of this type of cooperation is consultation, the contribution, and shared benefit. Sometimes I have different translation, actually. I feel it's more easy to understand the principle of the cooperation is, if I directly translate from Chinese, it's like we discuss together, we contribute together, and we can share the benefit together, okay? And the message of the cooperation is that we don't build everything from the scratch. We're gonna take full advantages of existing bilateral and multilateral cooperation mechanism. And there are 5 priorities of this initiative, which begin with the policy coordination, and then the facility connection, and unimpeded trade and financial integration, and people-to-people bond. Each of them are very much important. You can see from there, I don't extend, okay? And all of this are for the vision of to build the community with shared future for mankind. So those are the big package that within the Build and Roll initiative. Let me just explain a little bit for the background. We do have the historical background and development background of this initiative. See, actually, if we back to the ancient time, we once have the trade build. We call it Silk Road, okay? The trade road was exploited by the Chinese emperor, Anvil, to connect East and West back to Han Dynasty. And actually that kind of trade road play a very important role for the development of civilizations of China, Korea, all these type of countries' names are there. And it was opening the long distance, the political and economic relations between the civilizations along that road. And it was not the good traded along that road. It was also religions, the philosophies, science, and technologies that all exchange along that road that bring the prosperity of the region at very, very early time. We did have that kind of experience. More than that, as you have already heard, in China we have the philosophy that the harmony is always appreciated, the pressured and treasured, okay? So we have that kind of historical background. And latestly, we have 30 or 40 years development, openness and development experience inside China. We benefit a lot. We, as I mentioned yesterday, we feel we want to have that for the other part of this world. That's one of the things we understand. The other thing is that after the financial crisis, Chinese companies start to go abroad. And we met a huge challenges. And we realized that two sides things. One is that we do not know this world. Too much differences we need to learn and understand. on the other side, and the world really do not know China, and many of friends are scared about the fast development of China as a big country. If it is small, it might not that kind of scary. So we need to tell the world why and how we want to get involved into this world. That's how we have this initiative. The initiative is the initiative of collaboration. So those are the historical and recent development background of this initiative, okay? And then after 5 years, we have already done this for 5 years. We did have a lot of achievement. The trade really going up, and especially the import grow much faster than the export, which means that we have the data, right? Which means that the rest of the world actually benefit more than China benefit from it, the road itself. And we have already carried out the big project. Some of them are still in the construction, and I have the name there. Considering the time, I just omit all this type of difficult name, okay? In nature, those projects are big projects. They're important for the host country to get their own development, hiring people, making the technology development, all these type of the project. But we do face a lot of challenges. You can see that those type of challenges from the point of view of broad public opinions. Let me just mention some of things. At the very beginning, when we raised this initiative, not so many people really want to understand. But fortunately, in latest years, more people trying to understand it, okay? And at the very beginning, the type of arguments are always the argument for geopolitical issues, and mainly come from the US, actually. And recently, this type of focus, of course, there's still this type of argument, we understand, okay? But more focus right now have already shifted to the discussion of the rationale of the Belt and Road project. Let's say, whether you have a good design, whether you have the fund implementation is right, and what are the risks and benefits of the real project, something like that. Some real and concrete issue come up to the table. And before I talk a little bit more about that, there's a good tendency, the positive tendency to me, because I enter different kind of conferences explaining this type of things, and I feel that especially after the U.S. and China trade trade war, and there's a tendency around this world that people start to understand and identify the initiative with the nature of cooperation. And it actually, there's a wide spirit, the expectation that this type of initiative would provide the new opportunities in the current anti-globalization settings. I feel very glad about that. But the thing is, the difficulty for on the real project level, we did have a lot of challenges. One is that we have so many differences in regarding business environment. Some of the countries along the Belt and Road, they actually, because they did not have very stable type of a business environment, they were very difficult to access to the multilateral the banks, the financial, the capitals, okay? But now China is, now Chinese company and financial institute coming in, and they do provide the capital there. But actually we feel we will still challenge ourselves, asking that whether we are capable enough to deal with those complicated issues. It is a question mark. More than that, from Western style democratic system, you have more familiar, more familiar with compared with me. Okay, there are always the dispute, the argument from different parties, especially towards the project with big influence. We got into that kind of trouble a couple of times. We still need to figure out how to do it. Because, no matter which party is on the stage and they're going to challenge on the other party, it might be the nature of this type of system. But it's really challenging for a serious project with a lot of capital in it. And when a new government coming on the stage, is stop it, and then, it's a lot of disturbing. So we need to find out how to really work out that kind of things. And also, we have many different value towards the development opportunity and financial burden. I leave that later because we do not have enough time, okay? Different kind of value also put the challenge in front of us. And when Chinese company invest in another country, especially some not very developed country, and the capability of the government, host country government, as well as the capability of the local companies, plus the Chinese company, we're outsider. Maybe all of us getting together, we still lack of a very good capability to really evaluate the complicated project. We're still working on that. And then lastly, even though we have a good initiative, we really want to do that, but the time is still very short. We do not have enough capability to really understand the host country right now. So that's really a challenge, how we can really realize the win-win situation in the host country. So that's the challenges. And what the foundation for the build and roll in Latin America is easy. It's three things. One is China, we have experience inside the country. National economic development, infrastructure development, industry development, as well as we build up the strong companies. And in Latin American side, we have realized you really need infrastructure, and you want to change the resource-dependent type of economic growth model. You want to build up your supply chain here, as we heard just now. And you have your own vision of your development. You want to embrace the digital transition, and you open your country, welcome foreign direct investment, you want to cooperate. I think all these type of things for two sides, we really match to each other. Unfortunately, for these years, we have already have Chinese company investing in this area, and some of the pioneer companies, they really accumulated capability towards a lot of local issues. We can take that as best practice and tell our company what is the right way to do. I won't extend to all these interesting cases, we do not have time. So lastly, I think the build and roll initiative in nature, it is an initiative of collaboration. We won't force anyone, any country around this world. So if you are you are willing to cooperate, and we do need to hold your hand. From China's side, we need to understand the Latin American environment, not only business, but also social and social development strategy. And we want to, search the type of project on one hand with economically feasible, on the other hand with the positive social effect for this region. And the only way that we can do that is to have your collaboration. So we really expect that the people, our friends here, you could understand the meaning of the Build and Roll initiative. And we hope you are willing to cooperate with us. And especially in the current world, right? Yesterday we feel that the multilateralism, is really stressed right now. So we need to speed up the process of mutual understanding. If you want to do that, let's hold hands tightly and work on our future, Latin America and China together. Thank you very much.